So for the last few days, the dogs have been getting off the property, and that's been a huge problem. I've put a lot of energy over the last couple of years in keeping the dogs on property, and recently they've been getting off. A couple days ago, I got a phone call at 4:30 in the morning from my neighbor saying that the dogs were in their driveway, and they actually almost got ran over when they were backing out to go to work. And so they called. I got out and I brought them back onto the property. Thankfully, they were waiting for me at the gate. And then it was a few days after that that I was on my way home from dropping Katie off at the airport. It was about 45 minutes away, and I got a phone call from the other neighbor on the other side of the property saying that my dogs had their cat barked up a tree, and they were barking nonstop. So they got off the property 2 times in a week, and that's just not good. And so I did a bunch of looking around. I kind of figured what the issue was rather. The internal fencing that I put up, it's about 3,000 feet of fencing, and it covers roughly 13 or so acres of area. That is meant to keep the dogs in a contained area and not let them have access to the full 60 acres. Even though the full 60 acres is fenced, there is a gap in the fence at the creek, and they can just go right into the other neighbor's property, and they get on the street and then wander the neighborhood, and it's not good. So that fence internally has, it's an electric fence, and it has been overgrown for quite some time, and now it's to the point where there's several gaps in the fence where the dogs can just go right through. And so I spent the last 7 days, several hours each day, clearing the fence and getting all that grass and all the weeds and everything that are overgrown and causing the electric fence to not work very well. So I used a combination of the Greenworks hedge trimmer and then also the new remote control lawnmower that I have by Mow-Rator. You guys saw that video last week. And I was able to knock out clearing the 3,000 feet of fencing in a couple days, a couple hours of work each day. And so now the fence is completely cleared. I readjusted some of the height of some of the lines to better suit keeping the dogs in, and the electric fence is now turned on. It's hitting anywhere between 7,000 and 10,000 kilovolts, plenty charge to deter the dogs from trying to go through the fence. So the dogs now are on the property, they're staying on the property, hasn't been an issue since I got it clean, which is great. So meanwhile, I had also been working on the tile, and the tile is up. I finished all of that work. The mortar is dry, and so I was able to start on grouting the tile. And I ended up starting with just a test area. So I did just 1 row of tiles, and I did the test area because when I initially started applying the wet grout, it was a completely different color than what I was expecting. It's very light. And so I wanted to make sure that when it dried the charcoal color that we were looking for. So I did the test area, I let it dry overnight, and sure enough, the color is exactly what we were looking for. So then I spent the next 2 days putting the grout in, using just a trowel and the standard method of grouting tile. And I think it turned out really, really nice. Here's a before picture without the grout, and here's with the grout in. I think it looks really good. So in order to finish the bathroom, there's a few more things that I need to do. So I figured let's get those done. Let's finish up this bathroom. It's been way too long of a project. We're over a month of starting the finished work in this bathroom, so it's time to get it done. Perfect. That'll fit in like that. This will fit in right there. And then, let's see, that needs to come out a little bit. And then this piece will fit right there. So before I put this in place, while I wait for this corner to dry here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put caulking on this exposed edge and then caulking at the exposed edge here, maybe some down at the bottom too, because when I glue these pieces together, right here, I'll put a caulking on these exposed edges too, because the tile is right here and the tub is right here. So this area is going to be one of the areas that potentially gets wet the most or frequently, and so any exposed wood will soak that right up. So I'm just going to apply a thin layer of caulking to basically waterproof this. I don't need it to be very thick, just a thin layer. And then look at these edges too. And then when I paint it, it'll look fine and it'll be waterproof. I'm going to put some silicone, some clear silicone, underneath this tile, and then also underneath where the trim is going to go to get it nice and waterproof. Assuming I can get this silicone to actually come out. Oh, that's tough. Push it underneath and into the void. Okay. And then I think what I'm going to do is put it on the underside of this. Come on. And this tape is in my way. Oops. Gotta get that out. Alright, these ends have dried for the most part. So this is going to go there. So that means that I need to put silicone down there, glue on there. Come on, it's so hard. I hope this glue is going to attach to the caulking. Should. So that goes like that. I'm hoping that the silicone is stretchy enough to where when the floor flexes a little bit due to temperature and weight of us walking on it, that it's still, that the silicone stretches with it and doesn't come loose. So I'll be putting some silicone or some caulking, some white caulking in that right there, and then along the edge here, and then of course up here and stuff like that. So all of this needs to be painted, but I'm going to let all this dry for now. And then I'm going to put one behind the toilet there. When I applied the grout, I decided to use a pre-mixed grout in charcoal color. That worked out really well, made it a lot easier for me. And it turns out the manufacturer actually makes a color match silicone that I'm going to use in the corners to seal the corners. I've already put up tape right there with a thin exposure right in the corner, so I can just apply this, press it in really good, remove the tape, and have a nice corner of color match silicone. Oh, that just makes a mess. I'm glad I put that tape in place, because man, that could have been very messy very quick. I'm trying to make sure that it actually gets inside the crack, or the gap, I guess, between the two pieces of tile. And so I'm forcing it pretty good with both the caulk gun and then with my finger as I press it into place. Okay, I don't know if I should wait for it to dry to peel it off, or if I peel it off wet. So I'm going to try to peel it off wet. Oh yeah. Oh, that is satisfying. Oh, that's... Okay, I just gotta make sure I don't... If I could do this one-handed, I would bring you guys up close to show you how satisfying that is, but I'll show you the end results at least. Oh man. Well, after just over 1 month of working on the tile in the shower area, I'm happy to announce that the bathroom is finally done. So I got the tile in, got it grouted, got it all waterproofed and caulked. I got all of the hand towel bars up, got the trim in place, got the floor waterproofed. Everything is done in here, and it does look quite amazing. I really like it. I decided that I was going to put off putting in the glass shower door until later. In fact, I don't even know if I want one of those in. That's a future project if we decide to do it. So for now, the bathroom is done. Getting to this point was really difficult. As you guys remember, with this tile, I had issues with different size tiles. I had issue with using the wrong type of adhesive, having to take it all down and put it all back up again. It's been a process, but it's done. It looks good. And now I'm ready to move on to the next part of the house to get it done, which is the second bedroom / Katie's office, so she can move in and work from there. So thank you guys for watching. Thanks for sticking with me, and we will see you on the next video.